Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you have a minute, like the video to start off with. So for today's video, I had the idea of talking about my favorite and least favorite parts about running in the city. And I figured I'd break this idea up into two videos. So for this video, I thought I'd do the first half of my favorite parts about running in the city. So like a top 4 or 5 things that I love about running in the city. And then next week, I'll talk about my 5 or 4 least favorite parts about running in the city. Before I get into that, though, I want to give a quick update about this run that I just did that you guys are watching right now. So just some quick info, bear with me real quick, then we'll jump right into the topic. So this run is a bit of a mixed bag for me, because on one hand, I didn't have high hopes for performing super well in this run. I had some family staying over at my house in my small New York apartment, so I was spending a couple nights on my futon, and I love my futon to death, but it is not the most comfortable thing for sleep. So I was a bit sleep deprived, and also we'd been walking all over the place, tourism stuff. So I was kind of, didn't have as much rest as I normally would have during a normal training week. But on the positive hand, I actually didn't perform as bad as I thought I would do, which is really good for me, I feel like. I only performed about maybe like a minute higher than I think my average is. So for more context about the run, I had run 7.28 miles in just over 80 minutes. That's like an hour and 20 minutes. I started out running along the East River. There's this nice little walking path that you'll see in this video that goes along the East River, passes Roosevelt Island, I believe. And I go underneath the Queensboro Bridge, which is pretty cool. And then I go in and cross Manhattan, so across Central Park. And then I ran a bit down the west side of Manhattan, down kind of close to the Intrepid and other things along those piers on the west side, and then just ran cross back Times Square back to where I started. These are all areas I had run before, but now again with this new head camera, I wanted to capture some new footage there because now this footage is actually viewable and looks really, really nice. But as I mentioned before, though, I definitely didn't think I'd perform super well in this run, so I didn't push it as hard as I could have, or probably as I should have. I maintained an average heart rate of 152. I did stop once, and that was just to change out the battery of my head-mounted camera. I will say that's one unfortunate thing about this new head-mounted camera, is that I can't really change the battery out with using just my peripheral vision, so I kind of had to stop, pull over, and kind of take everything off my head to reset it. And also, since I can't reset it in a mirror, I couldn't see 100% make sure if it was pointing straight or wasn't tilted or anything like that. So after the footage of that was a little bit tilted that I need to fix in post. But overall, I think this is a great run. With that out of the way, let's move to the topic of this video: my favorite parts about running in New York City. Now, this list is not in a particular order, it's just kind of what came to my head first overall. Also, since I do most of my runs in Manhattan, this list also is a very Manhattan-centric point of view, so take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But for number one, I'm going with the fact that Manhattan is just basically a giant grid. So if you think of in school, when you had that graphing paper, how it was just made out of blocks, that's basically Manhattan for you. Very easy to navigate, very hard to get lost. Basically, you know where you are at all times because of the street signs. So, at least for me, planning routes to run in the city is very easy. I don't need to kind of map everything out. I just have a general idea of where I want to go and kind of keep on looking at the street signs to know where I'm at and just keep heading in the same direction of where I want to end up. So, sometimes I might run a little bit more north, sometimes I might run a little bit more west or east, depending on, where I'm going. But overall, just kind of keep the idea, the cross streets of where I want to go, and just head that direction, watching out for traffic. Number 2 on my list, and another great thing about running in the city, is the fact that I live so close to Central Park. Now, I know not everyone lives this close to Central Park, or even lives within walkable or easily distanced to get to Central Park, so it's a bit of a privilege that I can do this, but I absolutely love running to the park, and I'm doing at least a little bit of running inside the park every week. Central Park has great running trails. They have one trail that goes all the way around the park, which is about 6 miles, which I've done before on this channel. They also have, trails that cut through the park, go up and down and all over the park. They have really good hills in the park, so if you want to do uphill running training, they have it. Also, it's just a great break and scenery, very different look around than running in the city. So it keeps the running less monotonous because challenges the brain, has different views. So like it kind of puts you in a different set of mind when you're running. So another great part about running in the city. Number 3 on my list, and another great part about running in the city, are all the amazing views that you get while running in the city. With all the iconic buildings like the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building, or the Edge down there in Hudson Yards, all the great bridges, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Queensboro Bridge, with all the great parks, and with all the water and the piers out there, it's just so visually appealing to run in the city. It's basically like running with live TV going on at all times. So if you don't like running on the treadmill because you kind of get bored, it's just really easy to stay visually engaged on your runs and not kind of just track and get bored while running in the same area. Also, if you don't run with headphones on, there's plenty to hear, so you don't even need music while you're running. I still do run with headphones, but if that's not your jam, you also will stay audibly engaged on your runs too. Number 4 on my list, and this one's probably not New York City specific, it's probably just any major or large city, but that's having easy access to water just about anywhere in the city. I know for me, I hate running with extra weight that I don't need, so I tend to run with as little as possible. So I don't run with water bottles, I don't run with those little like water backpacks, little camel backpacks to sip water, and because, for the most part, I hate bringing them, I hate carrying them. But that tends to be a problem for the longer runs. So if you're running like 3 to 4 hours, you really should be managing your hydration and drinking some waters while you're doing these longer runs because you're losing all this water through sweating, obviously. And that's usually been a problem for me in the past because it's either forced me to run with water bottles, which I hate, or I just try to get used to doing these long runs without water, which again are no good. And this is where running inside of New York City becomes very much positive. Because in a lot of the parks they have around the city, there's usually 3 or 4 good drinking water fountains there for anyone to access. So if I'm running by any of these parks and I see one of these fountains, I can just stop by for a quick sip. The second part, and the one I probably do more often, is just stop into any Starbucks or any other coffee shop and just ask for some ice water. They'll give it to you for free. It's very fast and convenient, and just ice water tastes fantastic. And lastly, if you don't want ice water, if you want something a little bit more extra like Gatorades or any type of like electrolyte drink to help replenish those electrolytes, or even just like a little bit of snacks that kind of like help give you some more energy to burn for these longer runs, there's bodegas and little stores all over New York that you can pop in real quickly and just buy things for very cheap. So you don't need to pack all these like extra little snacks, extra little drinks, because there's plenty of options out there for you in the city, as long as you just run with like a little, with either your phone to do the phone tap, your credit card, or something like that just to pay. But I love doing it. It's great. But again, I understand that not everyone can afford this, so definitely take what I'm saying here with a grain of salt. If you don't mind running all the extra stuff, go ahead and do it. Real quickly though, I'm going to take a bit of a break from the list so I can ask everyone to join me in supporting the New York Roadrunners and their Team for Kids program. NYRR provides free fitness programs for children, helping them stay active, learn discipline, and lead healthier lives. Your donation makes these programs possible, giving kids the opportunity to thrive. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code that's on the screen. Thank you guys so much. Every dollar makes a difference. Also, if you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with my running journey. Thank you again so much for watching. Also, quick shout out to all my other socials. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, all under Macho Marathon Man, just like my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Back to the list. Last on the list, and probably my favorite part about running in the city, and that's the running community that's here in the city. There's all sorts of clubs and communities and organizations you can join all around the city. There's a lot of races you can join, but held by different organizations like New York Roadrunners, and different things you can just show up and just take part in. On top of all that, just doing my own like little casual runs, I passed countless runners that are just doing the same thing that I am, trying to stay fit, training for different events, or just staying active, which just helps me feel so connected and so just like encouraged to see that everyone out here is just trying to do the same thing I am, that I'm not alone in doing these runs, which just keeps me pushing, also just keeps this like competitive edge to me, seeing everyone else do this, and just makes me want to just keep going. that's going to wrap up the video for today, everyone. Thank you again so much for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you'd like to see next week's video, or stay tuned to my training for the New York City Marathon. Real quick, again, a quick shout out to my other socials, Macho Marathon Man. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, of course here on YouTube. I had a lot of fun doing this video, and I'm really looking forward to next week's video. Thank you again so much for watching. I had a lot of fun recording this video. I'm really enjoying this new head mount camera and really looking forward to my next run. Hopefully you guys are too. Thanks again for watching. Bye everyone.